you witness the top professionals in the field of finance and marketing trying to settle this age-old conflict of who adds more value to the boardroom. Because this is the first time that Sri Lanka's finest marketing and finance experts shared their insight in an open forum with the fascinating exchange of ideas. Which one is more important? You know, I faced the same problem in university, so I took the safer way out. I specialized in both finance and marketing, but I won't be playing favorites this evening. It's up to you. You tell us which function is more important. You now have the chance to tell us your opinion of whether marketing or finance adds more value to the boardroom. You can follow the instructions as per which will be shown on the screen. The SMS lines will be open till 8 p.m. Now, before we start off the second round, let's take a look at some of the business tycoons. A business tycoon from our neighboring India, Lakshmi Mittal. From a youth who spent his life sleeping on thin mattresses, he has turned into the owner and CEO of the world's largest steel production company, ArcelorMittal, with a personal fortune of $21 billion US. Having a business management background, he is a marketeer. While Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors of our time, one of the very few billionaires who have amassed wealth largely through investing in stocks, excelled in financial strategies. Richard Branson, a college dropout, a marketeer at heart. He took his business off the ground, an entrepreneur and businessman who founded the Virgin Group of more than 400 companies. Finally, Steve Jobs, again a college dropout. He was an American entrepreneur, marketer, and inventor, CEO of Apple Incorporation. He excelled in financial strategies. I have given you a glimpse into the background of some of these business magnates. Now, it's back to you, Mr. Prakash Shafter, to take the controls and take this battle to the next stage and keep this fire burning.
Thank you. And I guess I should have dropped out of college as well. Well, interesting first round. I'm not sure where we stand, but you all will be able to vote probably from now for the next few minutes. Marketing very cleverly started saying they are underdogs because they know full well that we generally tend to side with the underdogs. So good one there. A lot of quotes, survey results to justify the profession. And question that we are left with is, are customers for profit or creation of shareholder wealth? I will leave the rest of the debate to answer that. And very clearly brought out by marketing that all these percentages and ratios which finance professionals spew out is rubbish. I'm being a little bit dramatic, but that's what they were trying to say. Dilshan tried to distinguish finance from accounting and stated that finance is all about understanding risk and managing the money. Chandran spoke about the poor English teacher, who only if he had a good finance professional with him would have done better than he did. Indecent exposure, yes. Timely disclosures will prevent indecent exposure. Cash flow versus profit, yes, and profit, people, planet, the triple bottom line. All marketing jargon, but also spoken of by finance people. So I am now confused as to who is speaking finance language and who is speaking marketing lingo. But anyway, for the second round, finance gets to open the batting. Dilshan, your call. And it's a Dil scope here, so.
Let me narrate a Russian fable. There was this bird who was caught in a snowstorm. While all the other birds had actually flown away to the warm south, this poor bird was caught in the snowstorm and was covered in snow. His wings were freezing through and through. In comes a cow, and he tells the cow, "Please help me. I'm going to freeze to death." And the cow, now in a story the cow can talk, cow says, "Look, I'm a cow. There is nothing much I can do except to put a dump on you. After I put the dump on you, you'll probably get warm. Your wings will get warm. It will dry out and you'll be able to fly away." So he puts a dump on the bird. and the bird suddenly feels really good, right? His snow is now is sort of melting away, and he's beginning to see hope that he'll be able to quickly get out of this mess that he's in. In walks a fox. He comes, cleans the crap from the bird, and swallows the bird, eats the bird. Moral of the story: everyone who shits on you is not your enemy. Everyone who cleans your shit is not your friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the finance professional is always considered the bad guy, like Imal was just mentioning. He's the guy who comes in with the ratios. He's the guy who stops the advertising budget, reduces the advertising budget. He's the one who asks you, look, is this incentive program going to generate the sales you're going to get? He's the guy who's going to ask you all the tough, bloody questions. But at the end of the day, these questions are the difference between success and failure in the marketplace. Now, I have a lot of respect for Ceylon Biscuits, and I know they have a sound finance professional there who's a close friend of mine. And I am sure Ceylon Biscuits today would have not achieved their brand growth if not the questions that the finance professionals have been asking them in terms of building sustainability and long-term growth for the organization. That is what this is all about. Sustainability and long-term growth and profitability for the organization. It's not about, a deal scoop in a way. It's not about hitting 2 sixers and getting out. It's not short-term profitability. It's about consistent delivery of performance year after year. I watched this movie, Wolf of Wall Street, over the weekend. If you haven't watched it, don't watch it. Right? Because it starts off by saying, this particular guy the prelude basically starts off by saying, look, I made $49 million bonus last year. And I was pissed off with myself because I didn't make $1 million every week. That is the animalistic instinct without control from the finance side that will curb, that basically creates in people. Right? I talked about the global economic crisis. People bought houses that they couldn't afford because you let marketing, unleash marketing. That is the risk that you take. Ima talked about ethics. Now, look, don't try to link unethical behavior to any profession. Right? There are enough examples of unethical behavior in terms of unethical advertising practices. Right? There is the case with Danone yogurt where they had put down certain ingredients that were not there in the product and they were sued for millions of dollars. Horse meat scandal in the UK right now. Right? Where now all the McDonald's, all these different burger selling outlets are under a lot of pressure. Rogue traders, Nick Leeson and Jeremy Kerviel brought down Barings and SocGen, 2 large banks in the world. Unhealthy selling practices, motivated by short-term profits. I mean, if you take this to an extreme, we have 1.9 billion Muslims in the world. Right? There are a few people who are unethical, who practice jihad. 20 million people out of those 1.9 billion Muslims. Right? Can you say that religion is bad? That religion is bad because of these people who are killing people in the name of Allah, in the name of becoming martyrs? It's the same with finance or even marketing. Please separate unethical behavior from both professions. The profession is what matters. Thank you.
If you ask someone, which eye do you prefer, left or right, it can become a tricky question. The same, there is no doubt, finance and marketing are both equal stakeholders in an organization. I think my friends have not understood the topic. Topic is, in the modern era, success and long-term survival of an organization. So I need to thank them for supporting us. First, Dilshan for the dung on bank lending principle. Number 2, Chandrin for confirming that finance as a support service. Only thing I didn't understand out of his speech is, how did Sakwiti become a marketer suddenly? Is it because after he failed? And what a golden key got to do with the marketing? Because these are bad, suddenly they become into marketing. Anyway, and also Melanie for exposing and disclosing finance as a support service. Only thing I disagree with you is, you're saying triple bottom line is a property of finance. No, it's an action of marketing and other people in the organization, and finance takes to report. We agree with you. We are all equal in stakeholders. But when it comes to the topic, if you ask long-term survival and success, marketing has an edge. Let me give you some simple case studies rather than talking about Sakwitis and lending 2% and 4% and buying from here and there. Let's look at a bigger picture here. Look at Apple. I have to thank the computer who said that Apple founder Steve Jobs is a marketer. Not only Steve Jobs, if you know, there was a guy called Mark Markula who was an advertising professional from marketing, who invested the $250,000 when they started. And his marketing principles are still there, and that's why that company is so successful. I don't know how many of you all know of a brand called Creating Dying, which was created by a person called Chole Uvidya, right? This is nothing but Red Bull. Red Bull was a brand which was there in Bangkok or in Thailand. Bangkok would be known by you all, but in Thailand. And this brand was made popular by an Austrian guy named Dietrich Mateschitz. He created this brand, and you can see that was one of the shortest term growth of a brand. Look at Starbucks, what Howard Schultz did with a simple cup of coffee. I can go on quoting Nike, Coke, HSBC, big ones, not the Sakwitis and 2%. Look at Dilma, what it has done today to an organization. You can quote Danone of a small thing or a McDonald's, some mad cow disease. But look at Dilma, just two names, Dilara and Malik, fixed together by one eminent personality by the name Sri Lankan Malik Fernando, right? And he's I'm not getting Malik Fernando, right? I hope, yeah? So he got this brand created, and it's a brand respected out in the world. Take an activity of a company like Elephant House, who took this brand Coke because of its marketing success. Take a brand like EGB, which was known for stomach ailment drink. Today it's a food supplement. What did bring them up there? It was marketing. It was not sheer spending money. You can say the finance guy funded it. Yes, he funded it. We say it's a support. You can go on naming so many things. If you look at the brands, the 100 most valuable brands in 2013 is valued at 1.5 trillion. And it is the 12th biggest country if you rank it as a country GDP. It's above Australia, Singapore, Malaysia and UAE, and just below India, Brazil, Russia. You can see the power of these brands. Sri Lanka is the 60th still out of the 180 odd countries. We are at the 60th. And we have 59 million. If you take Apple, Google, Coke, IBM and Windows, the brand valuation of each individual brand is much bigger than the Sri Lanka GDP put together. There was an interesting article which came in Fortune magazine. It was repeated in the Financial Times in December 2013. It says, traditionally the CEOs come from just about any place but marketing, traditionally. Right? Companies bent on operational excellence might look at finance teams or COOs to take the top slot. There are strong indicators that the role of CMO and the marketer is shifting today. Marketing was seen as an art form. Today, with the new technology, it has made the marketers become more fact-based. Today, 62% of the Fortune 500 companies have appointed a CMO into their organization to lead it. This proves in modern era. I want you to get your topic correct. There's an interesting singular quote which I would like to leave you with. There's a nice quote which goes on, Yuddheta nati kaduwa koskotandada. Let me ask this question. Marketing nati ayataneka, finance tactic to gahandada. We report, you decide. Decide wisely. Thank you.
Chandran, over to you.
Finance nati hotele, parippu nati hoteleyak wage. Just a joke. So I would like to emphasize on this credit card and microfinancing business. It also relates to what Dilshan said on what has happened in the US on the going into subprime customers. This credit card and microfinancing unsecured loan facility, if I call. You might come up with an innovative structure. You might bring down the other cost to the client and offer an unsecured facility. You keep on marketing. What actually happens, you go to a professional or a person who has a fixed income and you offer, based on that, you offer a particular limit, which happens in the credit card and which happens in the microfinancing as well. Because of the competition, one company goes and assesses and issue a particular facility. Another company goes and assesses the same income and issue another facility. One person for one particular income is offered several facilities. In microfinancing, there are about 5-6 facilities one particular person has taken and is enjoying short-termly that money, but his capability of repaying that is at a question. What happens when the time goes? This is where the finance has to play their risk management roles. The central bank is concerned about it. I don't know how about it in the case of credit card. It's very obvious today. In any place, if you make a payment, if one particular card is not accepted, the person is normally asking whether you have another card. It's obviously that particular person normally have several cards. So this is, you are exposing to risk. So if the finance is not performing their duties well, we are in trouble. In microfinance, India, the problem has already arisen. People are dying because they are in debt. And it's so tempting, the offers, 70% discount. You go and take it and then see, okay, I will pay 5% at the end of the month. So you utilize all your cards. So it is more important for a company who's issuing that type of facilities, if you want to be success in future, and if you want to be survive in the long term, you have to see these things and take corrective measures to handle it. And on the other hand, I like to take this brand. Brand does not belong solely to the marketing. Take an example, a high brand like BMW. What marketing is doing the coordinating and selling it. After sales, after that, some other party takes it over. The features of BMW, the design, the performance is not a product of marketer. It's R&D, operations, their manufacturing process, their history, everything. It's a culmination of everything. But finally the market is, the brand belongs to us, which is wrong. That belongs to everyone of the company. That is one point. And also, if you take the professionals of marketing and finance, there is an article published by a Swiss business school called AMD. The chief marketing officer is dying due to 4 reasons. It says most CMOs are not really immersed in marketing activities. CFOs have become more powerful. Marketing impact is often hard to measure. Nobody has a clear idea of what marketing is. This is on the internet. And which shows finance is not just a supporting role. Now in modern era, finance is giving the backbone of the company, which really supports the success and the long-term survival of an organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandran. And Imal.
All right, let me start by saying Sakwiti was not a marketer at all. He was just a very poor accountant. Again, you brought up this whole discussion about BMW, the brand, and you said the marketer's role is to coordinate and sell. This is the issue. Absolute misunderstanding of the marketing function's role within the organization. With such a simple misunderstanding, if you believe for a moment that the only job of marketing is to coordinate and sell, You don't understand marketing at all. The top of mind luxury brand in your mind is BMW. You take that car by itself. There are other cars that can be driven faster. There are other cars that can perform better. There are other cars that are safer. There are other cars that are more fuel efficient. But top of mind prestige brand in his mind is BMW. Now, we are not here to say is marketing is the only function that's important in organization. We are saying that marketing is perhaps marketing is the function that is most important for the long-term success of the organization. And who creates this brand? This brand is what was created by marketing as the custodians of the brand within the organization. The brand is owned by everybody within the organization. Marketing are the custodians of that function, of that brand. The next thing is, Melanie spoke of indecent exposure and exposure disclosure, the whole thing about the lady dropping the towel as well as, all these things. Now, they also brought on the fact that I spoke of Enron and WorldCom, etc. I just like to ask a question. Now, these Enron and WorldCom, they didn't have any accountants? No finance, right? Because if they were finance people, they would have also had exposure disclosure, no? So if you're saying the role of finance is to do this exposure disclosure, what happened with Enron and maybe they were busy dropping the towel? Right? So I don't know. Anyway, then various points were made. Another thing. There's also this whole concept of consistent profits. We are here because at Ceylon Biscuits, if you went and spent like this, you'd have revenue up this year, next year loss. We are here to make sure you will have consistent profits, straight line. Is that the real world? How many of you all live in a world where everything is consistent year on year, month on month? It's flat. Whether it rains in Ampara, there's no sales drop. Nothing. Is that the real world? So if accountants think their job is to flatten and even everything out, they are not living the real world. This is the problem. This is the problem when accountants forget the fact that they are a supportive function in an enterprise and try to get on the driving seat. This is what I need to caution all of you about. Keep them away. If you put them in, they would want even lines. And I'll tell you what happens when you have even lines. This University of Washington study just completed last year among the top American corporates. And I'll give you research fact, right? These are not things created by me. 80% of the respondents said that they would decrease spending on research and development. That they would decrease spending on advertising. They would cut cost on maintenance. They would stop hiring people. All in order to meeting the earning benchmarks. Those straight lines. All in order to achieve the straight lines. And one more thing, which is very important, they even said, more than 50% of them said that we would even delay a new project that is going to add future value to our enterprise simply to achieve the earnings expectations. Thank you very much.
Surveys equal statistics. I have to say that you all have very finely picked the statistic, picked the survey that you want to hear. So I would leave behind with you statistics, lies, and damn lies. Brands, the value of brands. I won't go far on that, but just to let you know that quite rightly you admitted that the value of a brand is a culmination of all functions. Thank you very much. So it does not belong to marketing. It is a culmination of the strength of the entire organization. The brand is just a medium by which the strength and merits of the entire organization is brought to market. Let me touch upon the fickleness of brands. There is a fickleness associated with the value of brands. Look at Citibank. What happened after the subprime mortgage? The possible erosion of value. You forgot that? What happened to the Fonterra yogurts and milks and all of that was here in the local market? What happened to Edna chocolates because of the melamine in the milk content? So today, Ceylon biscuits might be rising high, flying high. But if a worm enters one of your biscuits, there goes your brand. So don't you believe that the brand is actually a culmination of the entire functions of the organization, including manufacturing, quality control, finance, and all of that. So something for you to take home, Imal. Right, let me just read to you something about brands. Since they were speaking so much about brands, here it goes. An incongruous billboard has appeared high among the slums of Mumbai. A thin Mohandas Gandhi, the ascetic father of India's independence, sits wrapped in his simple loin white cloth above the image of a fat Montclair pen. The association between a luxury product that costs more than what most Indians would make in a decade. In fact, the pen was strategically out of the reach of the vast majority of Indians, over 450 million of who live on less than $1.25 a day. They tried to launch the limited edition commemorative German luxury fountain pen Mont Blanc using Mohandas Gandhi's image. Where is the ethics here? And where is the value that that can bring? And let me tell you what the result of that was. This outrage forced the German pen manufacturer and his distributor to tender an unconditional apology for making a mockery of a great man, hurting the sentiments of a country and causing an insult to a nation. I'm not a propagator of Indians, but these are facts. Here was a marketing decision that was stone deaf in its execution, and once launched, the absurd writing was on the wall. Right, let me share with you another brand. They speak so much of brands. Calvin Klein, underage model, upmarket clothing manufacturing designer store in the 1990s. The company produced a marketing campaign which featured underage models in intimate positions and its provocative advertising, which obviously offended the bigger spenders, who were the parents of the teenagers. And what happened? Calvin Klein had to go down on their knees, issue a formal public apology, and it took them many years to repair the damage. So that is brand image. Then let me also touch base on something else that some of them said. Ratio analysis. Thank you, IRR, ROI, RONA. Thank you very much. This is accounting, and this is not finance. The function of finance has moved on, my dears. It has moved on to a situation where it is much broader. What you are referring to with all these ratio analysis is just a molecular drop in the wide, immense ocean of finance. World where factories are built, world where products are built, world where goods and services are traveled. So eloquently spoken by Imal. Thank you. My question is, without good capital investment, appropriate and feasible, would this be sustainable? Would this support long-term sustainability and success of businesses? Right. I would also like to just touch on one more thing on the brick and mortar of organizations. It's solid and here to stay, whether you like it or not, my friends. And that is none other than the financial health of an organization. For it to live long term, to survive over the years, throughout generations, the stability, the profitability, and the sustainability and the good financial health of any organization is necessary. And the custodians, the people who look at that, are really the financial professionals. In conclusion, I leave behind something for you all to ponder on. It is a quote of a great physicist and Nobel Prize winner, Albert Einstein, who said, intellectuals, the three gentlemen out there and all those who support marketing, intellectuals solve problems. Yes, they do. But geniuses prevent them. Thank you.
I was very happy because I was going to be last, but unfortunately I don't have anything to say because my learned colleagues never gave us anything to talk other than two things. Number one, talking about the difference between accountants and the financial management. My simple question to them is, the profession of accountancy and the accountants would have evolved. No debate. And we are not here to debate of that. But what is fundamental that was done by accountants is what you are doing on a broader sense as finance managers. So then, the question of whether ROI, calculating the GP, all that is what you do basically. Then number two, you all started talking all about what the importance of finance, but not a single example or a case study to articulate what finance has done for the success and the longevity of organizations. So do you think we have a debate? I don't think we have a debate. What we have is fables and some interesting anecdotes for us to keep ourselves alive. So let me start with those little fables. I think my dear friend Dilshan made a small mistake. The Russian fable actually had 3 takeouts. He mentioned 2. Number 1, not everybody who shits on you is your enemy. Number 2, whoever who takes you out of the shit is not also your friend, but he missed the most important part. Because how did the fox get to know about the bird? Because when the dung was on it, it was so happy it started singing. And that alerted the fox. So the third learning is, when you are in deep shit, it is better to keep your mouth shut. And that is what I would tell my learned friends, to say, you need to understand the whole context, right? See, at the end of the day, I think we need to understand this, right? I don't think I need to go far. Let me take you back to the interesting cartoon Sarangapura, right? And if you can recall, I don't know whether I could get it back, but if you can recall, we had all of us given in cartoons, right? And if I recall well, I was the only guy there with all the cuts of Duminda Silva, right? But you look at all of us and see whether I come anywhere close? No. Then why was that? The perception of me on them is what is shown there. And that is what marketing does, right? You need to understand the role of marketing, right? And that is what the perception that is created among people. And that is what a brand does. And again, I'm telling you, my dear friends, we agree. The brand is the whole aura of the brand is the responsibility of everybody. But we are the custodians. I will just take a little time to just run through this. This is the most valuable brands for 2013. And within the first 10, we have so many institutions, and I have HNB also. The brand value as a percentage of the enterprise value on the first 10 is almost more than 25% or more. So you are going to tell me brand value, which is created by marketing, which constitute to minimum of 25% or more of the enterprise value, and that is created by the not so great marketers, and you are telling me that marketing is not the most important role in an organization. During the last 1.5 hours, we very clearly told you what is the modern era and how does the modern era work. Then in the modern era, the role of marketing, how it has evolved and what it supports. Then very clearly showed with facts, figures and case studies of how marketing or the dependency of organizations on marketing for the success and longevity. But it's very sad. Even though in our hearts we may know finance does something, in this debate, to me, it transpires, I don't think finance does anything at all. Because I can stand here and say, marketing does this, that. But what is my credibility if I don't support it? That is exactly what you did. You said finance does this, finance does that. Where is the evidence? So my dear friends, without evidence, you can be a politician standing there and talking for all of us to get a vote with the SMS. So think wisely. So I will finish off with this. If I ask you the question, tell me a name of a king in this country. Lankawe Rajek Kiyanda. The first name that you will tell me is Dutugamunu. And my dear friends, Dutugamunu was not the richest king or the best king or the most adorable king that this country had. But he is the bugger who marketed himself well. That is why you ask the question, you talk about Dutugamunu, and you have Dutugamunus even now. Thank you very much.